Hey everyone, welcome to another video where I will be taking the concept of finding surface area and volume of the cone. So what is a cone? A cone is also a 3D object which is made up of one circular base and the rest of the portion is the curved surface. So let me show you a little bit of 3D animation for this one. So like look over here. This is the circular base and this is the, if you can see from the tip, this is this all is the curved surface area. All right, and this is the tip. So this is called as the vertex of the cone, and then you have this as the curved surface area. This whole is the curved surface, and then on the bottom you have this circular base. Now cones are around us everywhere. The most famous example is of course ice cream cone, the tip of the pencil, the tent. They are all the examples of a cone. So let's start it. So this is called as the vertex of the cone. This complete is called the curved surface, and the bottom base is the circular base. All right. Now, when I draw it on the paper, it's a 3D object. Of course, I cannot draw it completely, wholly. So I will draw this triangle, and then we will draw this one as the circular base. So this circular base has the radius. This is called as one edge. This is not required. All right. So the circular base, of course, has the radius from here to here, and this is called as the vertical height denoted by h, and this is called as from here to here, this is called as the slant height of the cone. So basically in the cone we have two heights, the vertical height h and the slant height denoted by l. We need these three measures, radius, slant height and the vertical height, to calculate the surface area and the volume of the cone. Let's start with the surface area. What is the surface area? Surface area is the area of the outside face or the outside surface. So look at this cone. I have this base, bottom base as a circular part and the curved surface area. Correct. So the surface area of the cone is made up of the area of the circular base plus the curved surface area of the cone. Now we know that the area of the circle is pi r square and the curved surface area of the cone is given by the formula of pi r l. So the surface area of the cone is made up of two parts, pi r square plus pi r l. Many times students often write it as like they take out pi r common. So from first term r is left and from the second term l is left. So this formula becomes pi r plus l. Let's do a simple question. A surface area of the cone we need to find out with the radius of 3. So this radius is given as 3 and the slant height L is given as 5. So let's find the surface area. So surface area is equal to, you use this formula or this one, it's the same thing. Let me use the second one. So pi is 3.14, radius is given as 3, and then radius is 3 and slant height is 5. Now when you multiply 3.14 times 3, it's of course 9.42 times 3 plus 5 is 8, and my answer comes out to be 75.36 centimeter square. So all you need to do to remember the formula, radius and the slant height will be given to you, and plug in the values and just do the calculations. Let's do the next question, in which we have to find the surface area of the cone with the radius of 5 centimeters. So radius is 5. And instead of slant height, this time they have given us this vertical height h as 12 centimeter. Now in my formula of surface area, I need to have this slant height. So how will I find slant height when it is not given? Now if you look carefully, this slant height, radius and vertical height are forming a right angle triangle because radius and height are perpendicular to each other. So if these three sides are forming a right angle triangle, I can use Pythagorean theorem to find out the slant height. So slant height L square will be equal to h square plus r square by Pythagorean theorem. Height is given as 12 square, r is given as 5 square. 12 square is 144, 5 square is 25. It comes out to be 169. L square is 169, so L will be equal to square root of 169. So 13 centimeter is the length of slant height. So whenever these L square, H square, L square, they form this beautiful relationship using the Pythagorean theorem. So if any one of them is missing and the other two is given to you, you can find the third quantity. Now the next part is easy. Surface area is pi r plus L. So pi is 3.14, radius is given as 5, 5 plus 13. Slant height is 13. We just calculated. So 3.14 times 5 is 15.70 or 15.7 times 18. And the answer comes out to be 282.6 centimeter square. That's the surface area of the cone. Volume. Volume of the cone is the volume of any 3D object is the measure of the space inside that object. How much space or how much quantity it can hold inside it, it's called as the volume of that 3D object. Now, what is the volume of the cone? The formula of the volume is 1 by 3 pi r square h. Now, if you're wondering that this formula is like seem to be very much like obvious, because pi r square h was the volume of the cylinder. So if I have a cylinder and I have a cone with the same dimensions, with the same radius, with the same height, then volume of cone is 1/3 of volume of cylinder, or you can say that cylinder volume is 3 times more than the volume of cone. So all you need to do is to plug in the values of radius and height, multiply all these three quantities, divided by 3. Take care that in the volume we do not have slant height, we just have height. But in the case of surface area, we have the slant height. All right. So let's do this question with the simple, pretty easy numbers. Find the volume of the cone with the radius of 6 centimeter and height 10 centimeter. So volume is 1 by 3 pi r square h. So 1 by 3 times 3.14 times radius is 6. So 6 times 6, height is 10. Now, when you will multiply all these four numbers, you will get 1130.4 divided by 3, and the volume comes out to be 376.8 centimeter cube. The volume is always in cubic units. Next one, find the volume of the cone of the radius 4 centimeter. So this is 4, and the slant height as 10. Okay, so in this case, they have given the slant height as 10 and the vertical height is missing. But in the volume, I need the vertical height. But as you know that height, slant height and radius, they form the Pythagorean right angle triangle. So I can use Pythagorean theorem to find out the missing quantity. So we know that L square is equal to h square plus r square. L is 10, h is missing, r is 4 square. 10 square is 100, h square plus 4 square is 16. 100 minus 16 gives me h square, that gives me 84. I know that 84 is not a perfect square, so of course my h would come out to be in the decimals. So it will be 9.17 centimeter as the height. Now, once you have the height, I can use the formula of the volume as pi r square h, 1/3 of that. So it's 1 over 3 times 3.14 times the radius is given as 4 square, means 4 times 4, and height I just calculated as 9.17. So when you will multiply all these three numbers, your answer would be 460.7008 divided by 3, and on division your answer approximately will be 153.566 something. So I will make it 57. So 153.57 centimeter cube, and that's the volume of this cone. So out of L, radius and height, if any one of the quantity is missing, use the Pythagorean theorem to find out the missing quantity. Thank you for watching. What next? In the next video, I will be taking up the concept of surface area and volume of the spheres. If this video has helped you, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye. See you in the next one.